The fiery furnace, from Daniel chapter 3. Nebuchadnezzar said, I'll make a great image like the one I saw in my dream, but I'll make it all of gold. Daniel said, I was the head of gold. I'll make whatsoever comes after me to be gold, and that will mean my kingdom will last forever. So he made a golden image 90 feet high and 9 feet thick. Then he brought together a great company, princes and governors and captains and judges and treasurers and counselors and heads of the provinces, to dedicate his great image, and they stood before the image which Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then a herald cried aloud, "O you people, when the band plays, all of you fall down and worship the golden image which Nebuchadnezzar has set up. If any man fails to fall down and worship, he shall be cast into a burning, fiery furnace." So the band played, and the trumpets blew, and everybody fell down and worshipped the golden image. Everybody, that is, but Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They would not worship the image of Nebuchadnezzar, nor seem to deny the prophecy that God had made through their friend and leader Daniel. Then some Chaldeans came to the king, and they said, "Do you know there are certain Jews whom you have set over the province of Babylon, the most important province in your kingdom, namely Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? These men pay no attention to what you command. They do not serve your gods, and they have not bowed down to the golden image which you have set up." Nebuchadnezzar fell into a rage. "Bring them here," he commanded. And when the 3 Hebrew youths were brought before him, he said, "Is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not serve my gods, nor worship the golden image I have set up? Now I will give you one more chance. The band will play again, and the trumpets will blow, and if this time you bow down and worship, I will forgive you. But if not, you shall be cast into a burning, fiery furnace, and what God can deliver you out of my hand?" Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered the king, "Our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us. But even if he does not, be sure, O king, that we will not serve your gods, nor worship your golden image." Then Nebuchadnezzar was filled with fury. He commanded the furnace to be heated 7 times hotter, if that could be, the hottest that was possible. And when it was ready, he had his soldiers bind the 3 young men with ropes, carry them to the mouth of the furnace, and throw them in. His soldiers obeyed. They bound Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, carried him to the mouth of the furnace, and threw him in. But so hot were the flames that they killed the soldiers who did it. Then into the midst of the burning fiery furnace fell Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. "That's the end," said Nebuchadnezzar. "I showed them." And he looked at the blazing fire with satisfaction. But suddenly he rose in panic. "Here, here," he cried to his courtiers. "Look, didn't we cast 3 men bound into that furnace?" "We certainly did, O king," they answered. "But I see 4 men loose, walking around in it," said Nebuchadnezzar, "and the form of the 4th is like one of the gods." His face, in spite of the fire, was as white as a sheet. He went as near to the mouth of the furnace as he could, and he cried aloud, "Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out and come here." Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out of the fiery furnace and stood before the king. Around him were all the princes and governors and captains and judges and sheriffs and the rulers of the provinces and the wise men of Babylon. They looked and they looked. Then they went near and touched the young men's clothes. They were not burned. Only the ropes had been burned off. They smelled of them, but there was no smell of burning. They touched their skin. It was smooth and moist. They touched their hair. It was not singed. Then Nebuchadnezzar spoke and said, "Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, Their God has sent his angel to deliver his servants who trusted in him, giving themselves up to the fiery furnace rather than worship any other god. And now, said Nebuchadnezzar, I make a decree that anyone who speaks a word against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made a heap, for there is no other God who can deliver in such a way. Then Nebuchadnezzar promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and made them higher than any others in Babylon.